All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna speed run this. I'm gonna speed run this, and I'm gonna talk about some of those things that I have seen so far. Is the people thought the x-axis and y-axis are boundary. Next year, I'm gonna write that they are not necessary boundary. So when the x-axis sometimes is a boundary, y-axis sometimes is a boundary, but not all the time. Okay, so not entirely all the time. So for me, like if you want, there's a shh. By the way, I put an extra question over there with the natural log of x and the rotation, and if it basically wrote around all those things that I just kind of get lazier and lazier when I say around and then become n and becomes like I don't know what I write. But anyway, just different kind of off-axis rotations there. Um, so that one's natural log of x. I like natural log of x is because you have to know your basic graph of natural log of x intersect at y comma 0, and then you can take a picture of it and you can walk through it. You can ask ChatGPT how to set up. That's fine. You can work through it and you can see how it's supposed to set up. But yeah, utilize ChatGPT. I think is very important. You can send a file in there, give me a new question, and actually they can like give you a new question and they actually show you the workout. But I think rather like use ChatGPT to cheat, use ChatGPT to learn, is actually not a bad idea. Now, is it sometimes they have doing bad? I have no guarantee because sometimes, according to some people, told me like depends on the subject. They sometimes they don't do. They are not always right. No. Okay. Yeah, I think Anthony told me physics is not good, but physics is not good. Maybe you gotta use DeepSeek. No, kidding. Ben is really against me now. Ben is like every time I start mentioning commoners or anything from China, Ben could turn around. I'm just kidding.
It's not the area of the square. What square?
All right. So shh. Jesus not here. I don't know where Jesus is. Okay. Shh. I'm gonna go speed run this and let me know if we make any mistakes. So basically, if you don't know how to do something, plug in a graph. The way I process things, I plug in 2. That's gonna give me 0. If I plug in 6, it's gonna give me 2. And if I plug in 11, it's gonna be here, and then that's gonna give you this. And remember, this red thing is the bound. It's not always x-axis or y-axis, but in this case, the y-axis is not a bound. The x-axis is a bound for something. But just so you know, the x-axis. So I'm gonna start drawing my little things here. I won't be lazy. I think the Connor asked me, do I draw each one? I will draw a small one here, and I will see what's going on. X-axis is rotating this way, so I draw an arrow from axis rotation. Draw right between the 2 and 11. I see some people draw on the edge. That's why I asked Astrid or somebody else draw, or Ember yesterday. She draw on the edge. It's really hard to tell if you draw on the edge. Draw right between the boundary. Okay, so that's gonna be integration from 2 to 11 pi. That's a disk method, so it's gonna be the function square dx, and then you should get this one right. No problem, right? Okay. So second one is a y-axis. Again, I draw it. A y-axis is here. So there's 2 lines. And then that's going to be dy. So I write down dy integration from 0 to 3 and then pi. And then the longer one is going to be 11 square because that's a big R. The function is going to be, I don't know, y square plus 2, right? Y square plus 2 square. Don't forget the square. Don't forget dy. Don't forget the pi, McKenna. Don't forget the pi, McKenna. Okay. But not always at pi, though. Cross section only in the semicircle has a pi. Because the cross section is talking about area of cross section. It's not rotation. Hopefully that you guys understand that as well. 11. So I'm going to rotate around 11. This happened to be right here. And that becomes a disk. But this is this way. However, the function is going this way. So then it's going to be whole length is going to be the green length minus the red. Does that make sense? So that's going to be, well, this is dy, again, dy, 0 to 3 pi, and then the whole thing is going to be 11 minus 11 minus y squared plus 2, and then square. So some people write down 9 minus y squared. I prefer this way because I can see that it's easier for me to grade because my answer key is going to write in this way. So because it's going to be 11 minus the whole thing, but you must have a parenthesis. If you don't have a parenthesis, wrong. Because a negative sign doesn't distribute. Okay, so 3, that's going to go with D, rotating at 3. So that's going to be here on the top. So it's going to be 1 line, 2 line, dx. Is that okay? 2 to 11, pi. Don't forget pi. The big R has to be 3 squared. Am I doing okay? Small r is 3 minus the function. 3 minus what? Okay. X minus 2 square. Is that okay? Yes.
On C, you said that we're not supposed to distribute the negative.
Just leave it like that because the way I write my answer key is just gonna be like that. But if you distribute it, it's gonna be 9 minus y squared. I won't bother distribute. What if you distribute wrong? Some people forgot the problems. Some people it's not distribute wrong. Some people forgot the parentheses. Like parentheses. If you doesn't have a parentheses, it's the wrong answer. But I won't bother distribute because I'm gonna type in the way it is, and I mean you can distribute it. I'm not gonna mark it wrong, but I don't have to. Like if I don't have to simplify something, I don't have to simplify. Equal to y equal to -2, so -2 is gonna be here. -2 is on the bottom. Rotation's here. This is dx or dy. Dx, right? And that's going to be between 2 to 11 pi. But you have to find those 2 to 11 tomorrow because the graphs is different, right? So you have to figure out what they are. 2 to 11, I don't know. Here, this one I will draw like this. Here and here. So the outer radius is always 2 because that's a small r. The big R is going to be the 2 plus the function. So it'll be 2 plus root x minus 2 squared minus. Liam, it's good? Neil, understand? Okay. So 13. 13 is going to be all the way out here. So all the way out here, that's the rotation. This is going to be here. This is going to be here. And then it's going to be pi. This is dy because it's horizontal between 0 to 3. And then the small r is going to be from here to here. Does that make sense? Which is only in 2, right? And then that's going to be the whole thing minus the function. So does that make sense? The whole thing minus the function. So that's going to be the whole thing. The red is going to subtract each other to get a black. So it'll be 13 minus the function, which is y squared plus 2 square minus, what did I forget? Oh, not a parenthesis, yes. Thank you. Parenthesis is your best friend or your worst enemy? Speed run, speed run. Okay, so like this, 8 is like this, rotation here, dx pi 2 to 11, I believe, and the big R is, what is the big R? 8 squared. What is small r? 8 minus y squared plus 2.
You have to break it up. It's parentheses
Oh yeah, it's a, oh yeah, sorry, it's somebody screwed me over. Brandon. It was dx, so that's why you always can double check. Negative 3 is gonna be here, 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 here.
What do you have to break up the interval for G? Where it's one has 11, 5 squared, and another.
I did something wrong in G?
I'm not sure, but shouldn't you break up the intervals? There's one that's 11 to 0, then another that's 11 to 2.
No, I don't need a breakup. It's just one interval. Okay, so the next one is gonna be pi. This dy and 0 to 3. So I will draw 2 arrow here because that way I can know that okay, there was 2 plus the thing. So 2 plus all the way to 11. So the big radius is 13. Is that okay? Because 11 plus 2 is 13. The small radius is gonna be 2 plus the functions, right? What is the function? What is it? Oh, this is 3, sorry. So this is a 14. Okay. Sorry, bye. Thank you. This is a 14 square because 3 plus 11. So it's 14 minus what? 14 minus what? No, 14 minus. No, actually it's not 14 minus. It's 3 plus y squared plus 2 parentheses square. Yeah. So because of this length here and this length here, because that means 3 plus the function. Are we all good? Okay, so this one I'm just gonna set up because I don't want to evaluate, but you can evaluate. So that's gonna be x minus 2 squared dx. This is a 1. This is between 2 to 11. Is that okay? No problem. Okay, so this one's kind of tricky. This one's set up only because it's here, but we are looking for this length here. We are looking for that. So it will be, well, we know that's 11 minus the function. So that's going to be, the function is going to be the function is going to be 11 minus y squared plus 2, right? Yeah. And then this whole thing square. And then this is going to be square root 3 over 4. This one's just set up between 0 to 3. Make sure it's 0 to 3. This one's right around. This is a semicircle. So that's going to be pi over 8. Is that okay? 2 to 11. Square root of x minus 2 square dx. Perpendicular is, well, this one's the area of rectangle's base times height. But base is the distance times the height. Base is 3 times the base, 3 times the height. So it's going to be 1/3 times d. Does that make sense? So that's going to be d squared times 1/3. In this case, the d is going to be square root x minus 2 dx squared between 2 to 11. And you had to evaluate the answer. I don't have time to evaluate the answer, so I'm just going to move on. McKenna, you understand? Any other questions before I move on? I'm gonna get there. Sorry. I'm gonna get 3 here. Okay, 3 is a circle equation. Now this is the here. It's a perpendicular to x-axis. So it's this way. But it's going to be y squared equal to 4 minus x squared. Y is equal to square root of 4 minus x squared plus minus. So this is a plus minus. So it's going to be 4 minus x squared minus negative square root of 4 minus x squared. And that's going to be square root 3 over 4 between negative 2 to 2 because you start from here to here. So square root 3 over 4 integration from negative 2 to 2. This one's going to be 2 times square root of 4 minus x squared square dx. So that's going to be 4 integration 4 minus x squared between negative 2 to 2. and square root 3 over 4. 4 is going to cancel out dx. So it'll be square root 3 integration. Yeah, square root cancel out. Thank you. So be 4 minus x squared dx between -2 to 2. I think the answer is going to be 32 over 3 square root 3. I think that's that.
Oh, it's -2 square one. Is that correct? Keep the that when you the one you brought up, -2 square one. Is that because you squared everything?
Yeah, square root of 2, square root of square root. Yes.
Let's go back up to 2D.
Because they say base is 3 times the height. So the height is 1/3 of the base. Base equal to 3 times height, right? So height equal to b over 3, right?
Right, yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's a very easy to confuse. But if I say around the other way, if I says
Put it the other way.
the height is 3 times the base, then that'll be 3.
Yeah, it's all 3, and then.
And yeah, that's a very actually SAT question does this kind of tricks too. It's very annoying because if you misread it, because your brain want to read one way, but the logic doesn't apply. So your brain want to read one way, and this is those easy SAT reading questions that people always screw up. But they only throw like one minor question right in the middle, and you're like, it's very easy, and you feel like it's easy, but it was actually a little bit tricky. So you want to avoid those traps. And that's your 780 right there. So miss that questions, and that would be very easy. Question 2, not mess up. But it's again like people want to read certain way in their brain. So that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of time, like math is you have to be very mindful of what you're doing. It's like a meditation. You had to be very self-aware of what you're doing. Now I don't know what to tell you, but yeah, that's the way it is. Okay, so the kind of this like this, I will do it algebraically because I will set equal to each other, and that's equal to 0 of 2x squared minus 8 back to our 2 x squared minus 4 x equal to plus minus 2, and then that's going to be -2 to 2. Top part of the graph is which one? Negative x squared is facing down. So this negative x squared is like this, right? And this is like this. Okay, so yeah, it's intersect at -2 to 2. So the top part is negative x squared minus x squared minus 8. dx, do I need pi outside? No, this is the area. You don't need pi. I don't know what's the answer of this. I'm not gonna figure out, but negative 2x squared plus 8 dx. I don't know what the answer is that, but 64 over 3, Benicia approved. If it's wrong, the Benicia's fault. Huh? Okay, it's Bernicia's fault and Fiona's fault. Do you know how to plug in the upper bound and subtract the lower bound?
You got a very good mindset. That's what I realized.
Hey, him? Liam is smart. He just need to lock in for the last quarter. He did last year, right? You got a 4 or 3. Huh? No, don't do that. I want to have a one shot 3 out. You practice every day? And Saturday you cannot make it? Why? Which one? Wait, A push has multiple, right? Mine's more important. No, A push you can pass. It's not hard. Stalker is a good teacher. She's great. I just hear she get distracted a lot. Okay, I feel like this question might be your hardest questions here, which is the area respect to y. So first of all, I will graph this, and I will say the graph this is probably not easy. So I will actually, because with respect to y, I have to solve for x. So x equal to 4 minus y squared. So that means it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4 minus y squared is gonna face the other way. So that's a parabola facing this way. Okay, so for the other one, I'm gonna solve for x. X equal to negative 2y plus 1. Now, I actually don't know how to graph negative 2y plus 1. So I'm gonna say, because it's very hard to think linear in term y perspective. So I'm just gonna, hey, for graphing sake, I'm gonna say y is equal to, I'm gonna solve for y. So it's gonna be negative 2y equal to x minus 1. And I'm gonna divide it by negative 2 on all of them. So that's going to be y is equal to negative 1/2 x plus 1/2. So it's going to be plus 1/2 here. And it's going to go this way, and it's going to go this way. So obviously there's going to be some type of this, but this is the graph. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do it algebraically. Set them equal to each other, right? 4 minus y squared equal to negative 2y plus 1. I want y squared to be positive, and that's going to be y minus 3, y plus 1. And then it's going to be y equal to 3 and y equal to 1. So that is the hardest part, actually, the algebra. And the right minus left is not so bad, because you don't want to do it in terms of that. Negative 1, and then the top part is going to be 4 minus y squared, I believe. Minus right minus left, yeah. Minus negative 2y plus 1. Brendan trying to screw me over again. Top part you have to do 2, and you have to do actually 2, but the other part is gonna be 4 minus y squared, which is kind of weird. It's 2 times that. Shh. Any questions? Now, I don't know what's the answer of that, Benicia. I'm going to trust you because we can blame on Benicia if she got it wrong. Huh? Oh, same answer? That sounds kind of sus, but anyway.
I got 2.
You got that too?
Yeah.
Good. All right, so now, shh, Bennett proof. Okay. 5. Now you can set them equal to each other, so it'll be negative 2 to 2, 5 minus x squared plus 1 dx. What is the answer here? Whoa, that's crazy. Why is everything 32 over 3?
My sister had a teacher who did a test. It was like a 100-question test, and every single answer was A, B, C, D, like in order. And she told it to me, and she got like, she was so nervous. He's like, wait.
All right. Shh. I don't know what it. So this one you will have 3 minutes to use calculator. The calculator section is just basically find the intersections. Now, I am thinking about like to give one that you had to break the section. I don't know yet, or maybe I give you some K problem. I don't know yet. So just know that everything's accountable. Connor, give me that look. Huh? Inspire? Yes, you're allowed to use Inspire.
I'm inspired.
All right, so shh. Can somebody tell me the region R? What's the x-intercept is? It's not 1. 0.9.
To 5.2.
Oh, can you give me 3 decimal? On AP exam, please give me 3 decimal places.
0.
970. Thank you. And what's the other? Shh.
1.97. Am I wrong?
1 point? Yeah, it's 1.970. What's the other one? 5.24. 2. Okay. So the top part is going to be natural log of x minus the bottom part, which is e to the cosine of x dx. And then you want to put parentheses if you want because area is fine. Solid region R, rotating, same thing, 1.970, 5.542. And then it's going to be ln of x squared minus e to the cosine of x squared dx. Is that okay? 3, so, huh? Oh no, minus 10 points. Minus 10 points. No, a bit get graded. A bit's gonna grade my test.
Well, since you're a student, then you have to take it.
All right. Shh. It's drawing here, right? It's 3. 3 is right here. It's here and then here. So shh. What is the big R? So don't forget pi. And then what's the boundary? 5.242 to what? What's second boundary?
7.14. Wait, 114.
7.114? Okay, so it'll be the big R is 3 minus ln of x squared minus 3 minus e to the cosine x squared dx. And I don't know what the area is, but I'm gonna trust you use calculator to figure out. But the speed run.
What's the other, like, what you might add after this?
I don't know. Anything that I assign as homework is always good. But there's a lot of rotation over there. If you need to practice more different rotation, is that one's natural log of x. I love natural log of x graph. I love e to the x graph. I love x squared graph. I love square root x graph. Could be anything. Yes.
So the boundaries are just boundaries in calculus.
You can use. I gotta use calculator. You have to use calculator.
This is supposed to be e equals x, right?
What? What?
It's not. It's supposed to be equal to the x.
What are you talking about? X equal to e is a boundary. So that way you can find out. It'd be cool if I do e squared. But
For the questions without the calculator, I'll use rotation.
set up and evaluate.
Because I kept getting to this point where I got the area questions and then how you square it. And then I try to do the table, and then I get like one over
You
here.
have to evaluate. Start from question 2. You have to start evaluating all the way to the end, to the last page. The last page is going to be the calculus section.
Is this test grade going in this quarter?